Hello, people. Episode 2 of NA. Hope you're well. Genuinely. Okay. Bit of a hopeful one this time. The last one was a little bit serious, perhaps. Kind of just want to use this series to talk about general stuff. And, yeah. Well, let's do it, right? So, first things first. Passions and skills and abilities. Everyone has them. You definitely do. You know, you might not be the most knowledgeable on a topic, you might not be the best at something you love doing. But, let's be honest here, everyone has their things. It might be lame. You know, it might be perceived by society to suck. If it's like a video game or something like that that's traditionally kind of frowned upon. Whatever it is, do it and enjoy it. Like, was doing sound work yesterday at a gig, and like for a lot of it, it was sitting there being like angry that the crowd were all just on their phones rather than enjoying the music. And then you just realize halfway through, it's like, no, that's how they're enjoying it. Like, we all have different ways of enjoying a moment, and you can kind of ruin things for yourself if you're just always angry. And that sounds so stupid because of course that's how it works. But we've all got these passions, whether it's sound design, whether it's painting, whether it's gaming, or walking even. Like, it can be so bizarre and actually seem banal as hell to the majority of people, but if you enjoy doing it, why not, you know? Like, personally, a massive escape at the moment is, motorcycling. It has been since, well, the best part of a decade, actually, at this point. And here's the thing, right? A lot of people will know more about motorbikes. A lot more people will be more technically capable at biking. But that shouldn't stop you from getting out on there and having a whale of a time. It shouldn't stop you from, you know, loving everything about that experience. You know, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know, and passion's one of those things that you can kill so easily by yourself by being overly, protective or overly worried about how good you are at it or how other people might perceive you when you do it. And it's gonna ruin it for you, you know? Like, don't let yourself think, oh man, what's the point of getting up today and doing these things that are amazing? Because there's other people that are better at it. Like, why make music? Because look how many other people out there are so much more successful and so much more talented and work so much harder. What's the point in thinking like that? Like, genuinely. There's so many creative people out there, there's so many things out there that you can do, that you will love to bits, and you've loved to bits doing for years, weeks, months, maybe even days. Because sometimes you just pick something up and automatically you just feel that click. You pick someone up and you feel that click, and there's these things that you kind of perceive and you remember. What are we doing here? Like, it's a massive problem with people of our age, or just people in general, and it's been exacerbated a little bit by socials. That people feel like they have to be good at something to be able to show the world that they're doing it. You know, people become so self-conscious about, like, what they're doing and how they're being perceived. And that's always been a thing, but socials have just made it so much worse. Like, the whole, like, stay in your lane kind of thing and, you know, being overly passionate about things is not a thing that really occurs much in the UK. Like, you often get shot down if you're, like, really passionate about things because people look at you, and it's a thing across the world where people go, oh, you're really weird if you're overly exuberant, you know? But there are some things you can put your heart and soul into, and that's good. Because when you look back on it, you'll go to amazing places sometimes, and, you know, you won't always, you know, but if you are someone that enjoys video games, think about the amount of times you play games with your mates or alone and you've just like, damn, this was really fun, and you feel good after playing a game. Or you go to a concert with thousands or hundreds or even tens of other people, and you're like, that was a great experience, you know? And if you're in your own head the whole time, like, these people are a horrible crowd. They're just filming, or no one's moshing to this music, or no one's like dancing, whatever, when you're in the club. And you're thinking, like, you're ruining it for yourself, you know? I said it in the Ozzy Osbourne video, but there's a saying that comparison is is the killer of happiness. And this is true for your passions too. If you're comparing yourself to other people on things that are meant to be fun, for God's sake, you have no hope. You know? And listen, being self-conscious, being aware of your situation is not a bad thing. Never has been, probably never will be. But over-analyzing and being too in your own head about something you enjoy, and you know it you enjoy, will kill that enjoyment. And that's good for nobody. Like, that will lead you down a path that realistically you do not want to go down. And once you're in that spiraling mentality of you start disliking things you don't like doing, then there's two solutions. One, you find a new way of doing it, or you find something else to do. You know, don't waste your time, your limited time on this earth, doing things you don't like doing. You know? And sure, there is the examples of, like, you're with other people and maybe you enjoy their company and you're not necessarily, you know, going on a hike because you love hiking. You're going on a hike because you're doing it with people you love, or you really care about, or you enjoy the company of, right? You might be going to certain gigs that you're like, this ain't really our scene, but you enjoy going with those people. You know, you might be putting yourself in situations you're like, damn, this is not it. But you end up enjoying it, and passion is so easy to kill because people find it uncool to be invested in something. Like, the whole, like, nonchalant meme that's been around for ages is genuinely, to an extent, true. Like, people would rather look composed and cool rather than look like bonkers. And here's the thing, it's easier to be composed and not care. It's easier to control yourself and be subdued by yourself. You know? You are your biggest enemy at stopping yourself from excelling. A lot of the time. Like, the amount of times people come up to you and they'll be like, damn, that guy over there or that girl over there, they're really hot. I don't want to go over and speak to them. And the only thing that's stopping you from doing that is yourself, realistically. You're automatically jumping to the worst case scenario, and it's the same with a lot of passions. It's the same way with, like, you know, if you're super into, you know, football or whatever, like the arts, and you've got a picture in your head of what you want to do with a ball, or what you want to do with a pen, or, you know, what you want to do on the easel. You're in your own head, you don't actually, you know, shoot when you know, feel like you should shoot. Because you're angry, you're, you know, thinking that everyone else is going to shout at you, and you're automatically not thinking, yeah, you're going to top bin it. Or you don't start that painting, because you're worried that, like, if you put it on Twitter, and everyone starts ribbing you for it, then it doesn't matter if 3 or 4 people really like it, because there's 6 or 7 people that hate it. You know, and it's like, all this stuff, it's so easy to live inside your own head. But if you do that, you'll never, you know, be able to live those moments of euphoria that you look back on, you know? Like, we've all got core memories that we cherish deeply. And yeah, some of them aren't from taking risks. But the more you knock on that door, the more things you do that you know you love, and you actually fully embrace those moments, the more of those core memories you're going to build up. You don't get that from hiding away from them. So perhaps the conclusion from this video that you take away is, hey, the next time you're, you know, with your mates, or mate, or girlfriend, or boyfriend, or partner, or husband, wife, whatever it might be, or you're alone, and you're doing something you love, or doing something with someone you love or strongly care about, forget about everyone else in the room, just for a minute, 2 minutes, and think, does that make that experience better? Because personally, it feels like it does. If you can just forget about the world for a little bit, tap out, and just be in that happy spot for a little bit, or even that spot of contentness, because let's be honest, happiness is kind of unachievable. But that content spot where you're just having a decent time, yeah, is that not what it's all about? And then you can go back and be miserable and, you know, have horrible thoughts about yourself and other people later. But you're allowed to have moments where you're happy, or enjoying yourself, or you're not just crushing yourself, you know? We gotta allow ourselves at least these few moments, because otherwise what's the point, you know? Okay, cool. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching. Yeah, weirdly hopeful video from Joska here, but yeah. Also, go out and go for a walk or something later. Do something productive. Make it worthwhile. Alright, love you. See ya. What's that? Cheers.